Hi, my name is Jensen Lowe. I'm a senior at Dartmouth College, and I'm a double major in environmental studies and government. This past spring, I did an internship at the State Department in the Bureau of African Affairs. I was given that opportunity by the Rockefeller Center, and the class of 1964 provided me with a public policy internship grant. And for providing me with this amazing opportunity, I'm so grateful. I had expected so much when I was coming into the internship, but I did not realize how big of a part I was going to be in the economic policy staff, which is the office that I was working on. From day one, it was unbelievable. I was sitting in my office trying to figure out just the computer login, and one of my coworkers walks in with one piece of paper and says, she said that there's a consulting group was bringing in about 10 African health ministers, and they wanted to have a meeting at the State Department. And that was it. Next thing I knew, she was off to Italy, her G8 preparations, and I was left to organize this whole thing. Making phone calls, figuring out the security, figuring out what it even entailed. And just that one experience gave me such a great opportunity to get my foot in the door and really showed the whole office that I was able to do what they asked me to do. Within only a week, the meeting went without a hitch, and it was a great experience. And so it was from the first day, I was really involved with the office and getting to do action memos and briefing checklists and just doing the work just learning what government work really entailed. And that was something I really was hoping to get out of that internship experience, so I'm very grateful I was able to do that. I also got to brief the assistant secretary of the bureau. His name is Johnny Carson, and he's an unbelievable figure. He is the head of the whole bureau, and so my supervisor, who was the assistant director of my office, had been working on preparations for a meeting he was going to go to, and she had told me, well, she's not going to be there that day, so she just told me some of the things that were going on, and she said, that's it. So then the day of the meeting, the director of my office comes in, and she goes, I have to brief the assistant secretary in 5 minutes, tell me everything you know about the meeting, so I told her everything I knew, and she's like, okay, now come with me. And I was shocked that I was going to even be able to go up to his office, and I go up there, I walk in with him, I get to meet him. It was such a great experience because I'd spent my whole time at the State Department doing checklists and action memos, all with his name on it. He was sort of an elusive figure in my head, but he was so kind and he was so interesting and he was so intelligent. I was so happy to be working in a bureau under his leadership, and getting to just sit there and listen to the briefing and talk very little bit was experience I was very fortunate to have had. But my highlight of the whole internship was actually his swearing-in ceremony. It was that day, and I got a call from his personal secretary, who I met the day I gave the briefing. And she said, Jensen, the assistant secretary needs you. And I'm thinking, I can't believe he even remembers me. What could he possibly need me for? And so he said to come down to the lobby about 2 hours before the swearing-in ceremony, and we'll tell you what you need to do. And so I go down to the lobby and find out that I was asked to be the official roller of the event, meaning I was rolling around his mother-in-law in her wheelchair. She was given a wheelchair to walk around the building, and I got to push her around. And I thought this was so much fun because I got to spend the whole day with the family, got to bring them up with the office, go to the private room before the ceremony when Hillary Clinton came in and took pictures with the family. It was there's an official photographer taking pictures and me with someone had asked me to take a picture too. And it was just a really interesting way to look at the whole swearing-in ceremony. And when the ceremony began and I was walking in with the mother-in-law on my arm, she had wanted to just walk in. When the whole bureau was there must have been at least 200 people there, and I'm just walking in, and the friends that I had made in the bureau and other interns were just laughing, thinking what am I doing there with a family? But it ended up being such an unbelievable time, and it was really remarkable to see how well respected the assistant secretary was, and to see him getting his formal swearing-in ceremony was really a highlight for me. So it ended up being a great opportunity for me, not just to see what it's like to work for government, but also academically in terms of my Dartmouth career. The previous fall, I went on the Environmental Studies, Foreign Studies program to Southern Africa, and so I had already gained an interest in the region. And then to be able to go to the State Department and work in the Bureau of African Affairs and see the region from a foreign policy perspective was such an unbelievable opportunity. Then when I came back to Dartmouth, I decided I wanted to write a senior thesis in the government department, and now I'm writing in it. That internship impacted my decision to write on the effect of U.S. intervention on the third world and third world conflicts in particular. And also after college, I have recently been accepted for the Peace Corps, and I don't think that's something I would have even really considered if I hadn't done this internship. When they were listing off all the accomplishments of the assistant secretary, it was when they mentioned that when Hillary Clinton read out that he had done the Peace Corps in Tanzania in the beginning of his career, it was the only thing that got a full applause from the entire room. And to see how well respected the Peace Corps is in the government, in the State Department in particular, but then just made me really think that it's actually something that could really be a meaningful experience. And so for all of that, I just want to say how grateful I am to the class of '64 in the Rockefeller Center for supporting the college for 45 years now. Is unbelievable, and it inspires me and all the current students to do as much for future classes as you guys have done for us. And so for all of that, I just wanted to say thank you.